Hello there friend, today I want to show you how to apply dip powder for an easy at-home manicure. Before we dive into the actual application, let's go through everything that you are going to need. So first, you're going to need dip liquids. That's going to include a base coat, an activator, as well as a top coat. You're also going to need a dip powder of any color you choose. And this is my secret weapon for getting clean cuticle lines, a toothpick soaked in a little bit of acetone. You're going to need a brush as well. I like to use a plain old toothbrush. You're going to need a nail brush as well as a hand file and a buffer block. Now you don't necessarily need a nail drill, but having one will make your manicure go a lot faster and be a little bit easier. So here's how you start to apply your dip powder. First you're going to grab your base coat and then you're going to apply it to your nails. Start in the middle of the nail and then push back. This is going to avoid flooding the cuticles, and you want to apply your first dip to the entire nail. Next you're going to immediately dip your nail into the tub, going in at a 45-degree angle, tap off any excess, and then grab that toothpick that's been soaking in the acetone and give your cuticle area a swipe to make sure it's nice and clean. Once your base coat is dried, it's generally about a minute, you're going to grab that brush and you're going to brush away all of the excess powder. This is going to avoid gunking up your manicure as well as contaminating your liquids. For your second dip, you're going to apply your base coat to only half the nail, and you want to make sure that you cap the edges. This is so important to avoid chipping later down the road. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to dip your nail, tapping off any excess. Then at the end of each dip, you want to make sure that you're brushing off all of the excess powder. For your third dip, you want to apply to 3/4 of the nail, and then with this one you also want to cap the edges. This is again so important to avoid chips or cracking or anything like that down the road that we want to avoid. Once you're done, you're going to brush off all the excess dip powder, and then we're going to go into our fourth dip. For this fourth dip, you're going to apply it to your entire nail, and because we're applying this one to our entire nail, we're going to grab that toothpick again that's been soaking in the acetone and give our cuticle area a quick swipe to make sure everything's nice and clean. Then for our fifth and final dip, we're going to apply base coat to our entire nail again. This dip is not necessary, but I like to do it because I find that it helps avoid buffing out the color close to your cuticles, especially if you're using a dark dip powder. Then you're going to grab your activator and you're going to apply it generously to all of your nails. A lot of people will say they go to buff and it gets really gummy with their dip powder. That means your activator is not ready. So you can make sure your activator is set by clicking on your nail, and if you hear, you know your activator is ready and you're ready to buff. Once your activator is dry and ready to go, we're going to grab our hand file and buffer block, and the first thing we're going to do is shape our nails with the hand file. I keep my nails square, so I just literally go straight along the edges and make sure everything looks really sharp and clean. Then I'm going to grab my hand file and I'm going to go around the edges to blend the dip into my natural nail. This part is so much easier if you have one of these curved files. It'll make it a lot easier to avoid tearing up the skin around your nails. If you happen to have a nail drill, you can grab one of these cone-shaped bits. This is what I like to use, and then I just gently go around the edges, again blending that dip into my nails. We want to make sure that we don't have any ridges along the edges because this is going to avoid having your nails get caught in your hair. Now we're going to make those nails nice and smooth. Grab an orange buffer block and then you're going to buff out your nails with the grittier side and then flip it over and use the smoother side just to make sure everything's nice and smooth, ready for top coat. If you have a nail drill, you can use the sanding bit. That's what I like to do, and then I just gently go back and forth on the nail. This also makes it a lot faster. If you happen to have a little bit lumpier of a dip, it's going to smooth everything out a lot faster. Once you are all done buffing everything out, grab a nail brush and then you're going to go over to your sink and you're just going to gently wipe away all of the dust that's collected. Once you've done this, make sure you dry your hands really well. Alright, we're almost to the finish line. Once your hands are dry, you're going to go back, you're going to grab your activator and you're going to apply a second coat of activator to all of your nails. Then you're going to grab a lint-free wipe or a paper towel and you're going to wipe away all the excess activator. You want to wait between a minute or 2 minutes before you apply your top coat. This is going to depend on your product, but you don't want to wait any longer than that or you're going to risk your top coat not setting properly. You're going to grab your top coat and you're going to apply it to all of your nails, doing 2 to 3 quick strokes and a quick stroke at the end to cap the edges. It's totally normal for your top coat to look a little bit funny after the first coat. It's going to shine right up after we do our second. As soon as you're all done applying your first top coat, you're going to go in immediately and apply the second layer of top coat. This time you can be a little bit more careful, making sure that you carefully apply, getting everywhere, and again, make sure you cap those edges when you're done. Your top coat's going to take about 2 minutes or so to dry, but once it dries, you're going to grab a cuticle oil. I love this one from Essie. It smells so freaking good. And you're going to apply that to all of your nails, and then you're going to massage it in, making sure that we add a little bit of moisturizer back into your nails. And that is how you apply dip powder for an easy at-home manicure. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And as always, don't forget to subscribe so that you're always in the know when more tutorials and some nail inspiration comes out. We'll see you guys soon.